The Ramayana, an abridged rendition of the classic Indian epic. Episode 1, The Birthright. Dharma is a bow kept taut by the will of the righteous. Should its string slacken, kingdoms unravel. Sage Vasistha. 1. A kingdom yearns for heirs. In the jeweled city of Ayodhya, King Dasharatha, scion of the solar dynasty, ruled with the crisp wisdom of winter sun. Yet under the hymns of plenty hummed a secret disquiet. 3 queens, no child. As seasons wheeled, the people's prayers grew urgent, fluttering like banners over palace roofs. One dawn the king convened his council. Grey-browed, Vasistha spoke first. Vasistha, Majesty, destiny stalls at the gates. Seek the Ashvamedha, the horse sacrifice. From clarified butter and chanted meters shall arise heirs whose merit equals the gods. Dasharatha's thunder-colored war horses had never knelt in defeat. Now one would roam untethered for a year, challenging rival kings. When none dared seize it, the right climaxed on the Sarayu's bank. Agni's tongues licked the sky, and from the central fire stepped a resplendent figure, Payasa Purusa, spirit of sacrificial ambrosia, bearing a golden vessel. Spirit, divide this nectar among your queens. 4 sons shall rise to guard Dharma. The king's eyes misted. To Kaushalya, the chief queen, he gave half. To Sumitra, wise and self-effacing, a quarter. The remaining quarter he split again, 1 portion to Kaikeyi, valiant youngest wife, and, at Sumitra's urging, the final draft returned to her. The moon waxed once, cries of newborns echoed thrice. On the 9th day of Kaitra, as lilac blossoms perfumed the palace, Rāma was born, dark blue as rain-laden clouds, eyes like lotus hearts. A day later came fair-skinned Bharata to Kaikeyi, and twin sons to Sumitra, eagle-eyed Lakṣmaṇa and tranquil Shatrughna. Conches blared, Ayodhya danced. 2nd princes in the Gurukula. Childhood passed within sage Vasistha's forest school. Old chronicles tell of Rāma effortlessly stringing an iron bow at 8, of Lakṣmaṇa matched to his elder like a shadow, and of Bharata studying polity beneath rustling sala trees. Friendship tempered valor, humility crowned learning. One misty morning, Vishvamitra, once king turned ascetic rival to the gods, arrived robed in bark. Vishvamitra, great king, demons defile my fire altars. Lend me Rāma and Lakṣmaṇa, for celestial weapons await worthy hands. Though paternal heart quaked, Dasharatha honored Dharma. 2 princes followed the sage down leaf-strewn paths. Along the Sarayu, Tataka, ogress with a roar like breaking mountains, charged. Vishvamitra whispered mantras, arrows flashed. Rāma felled her with a shaft singing Astrajaya. Forests sighed in relief. Further south at Siddhashrama, nightly swarms of Marika and Subahu hurled bones and blood upon sacrificial fires. Rāma's Brahmastra flung Marika 100 leagues into the sea. Subahu fell like a burnt pine, smoke-plumed. The 3rd, the bow of Shiva. Word of their feats travelled to Mithila, where King Janaka guarded the unstringable bow of Shiva. He had promised his adopted daughter, Sītā, born, legend said, from a furrow, only to the man who could bend that cosmic arc. Courts converged, princes knackering elephants, sages weaving omens, Sītā watching behind a fretwork lattice. Sovereigns of Anga, Kalinga, and Avanti failed. Then Rāma, shoulders broad as the Deva gate, lifted the bow as one would a garland. Wood of Eon, old Himalayan cedar snapped like thunder across 3 worlds. Gasps became cheers. Sita's shy glance met Rāma's serene smile. Garland of marriage settled upon his chest, and Mithila drowned in percussion and floral rain. Vishvamitra's eyes gleamed. Destiny aligned. A messenger sped north. Soon Dasharatha arrived with retinues bright as peacock trains. A quadruple wedding ensued. Rāma wedded Sītā, Lakṣmaṇa to Sita's sister Urmila, Bharata to Mandava, Shatrughna to Shrutakirti. Hymns twined like incense in the rafters of Janaka's marble hall. Fourth coronation deferred. Years flowed, peace gentle as monsoon drizzle. When silver threaded Dasharatha's beard, councillors urged, Ministers, crown Rāma the Yuvaraja. His name stills riots, his mere presence rectifies bookkeeping errors. The king agreed. Trumpets announced the next dawn's coronation. That night, Queen Keki's hunchbacked nurse Manthara slithered across mosaic floors. Manthara, husking, If Rāma is king, you are but queen mother no longer consulted. Recall your 2 boons from the battlefield of Kaikeya. Ask now, exile Rāma, crown Bharata. Like oil on clean water, jealousy spread. Kaikeyi stormed into the kosher bhavan and lay upon the bare stone floor, casting off jewels. Dasharatha entered, horror blossoming. Dasharatha, speak, my love. Kaikeyi, grant my boons. First, Bharata will be crowned tomorrow. Second, send Rāma to the wilderness for 14 years, clad in bark. The aged monarch reeled as though pierced by unseen arrows. Dasharatha, ask my life, but not this. But oaths bound kings tighter than chains. He sank, sobbing. The great renunciation. Rāma, summoned, listened with unruffled gaze. Rāma, Father's word is iron, the sun is but its reflection. Sītā protested, yet Rāma's calm cracked only when Lakṣmaṇa, eyes feral, threatened to reduce Ayodhya to cinders. Rāma laid a gentle palm on his brother's shoulder. Balance returned. Sītā refused the silken prison of palace walls. Sītā, the forest that shelters you will shelter me. Are not leaves more comforting than gold when shared? Lakṣmaṇa, too, strapped on quivers. Citizens wept along the moonlit boulevard to the eastern gate as 3 figures, royal yet radiantly ascetic, left Ayodhya. Behind them, a father king fell unconscious. Before them stretched 14 years of uncharted green. Sixth, a brother's anguish. At dawn, Prince Bharata, returning from his maternal grandfather's kingdom, found Ayodhya draped in funerary silence. Courtiers stammered the tale. Dasharatha had died before midnight, crying, Rāma, Rāma, into the dark. Coronation dais stood abandoned, garlands wilted. Bharata's grief blazed into fury at Kaikeyi. Rejecting the throne, he rode south with an army and the royal priest Vasistha to beg Rāma's return. They located the exiles at Chitrakuta, where River Mandakin sang against quartz cliffs. The reunion seethed with love and pain. Bharata, Ayodhya is a body without breath. Come home, brother. Rāma, embracing him. The kingdom is not mine to seize, it is duty's to bestow. Guard it as caretaker, rule it as my proxy. Rāma placed his padukas, wooden sandals, into Bharata's trembling hands. Bharata vowed to rule from the village of Nandigrama, the sandals upon the throne, until the 14th year's dawn. Seventh, deeper into the wild. Soon after, the brothers parted. Rāma, Sītā, and Lakṣmaṇa journeyed deeper into Dandaka forest, where sages whispered of lurking Rakshasas. Golden twilight dappled their path. Unknown eyes glittered between banyan roots. The epic's long night had begun. Episode 2, Exile in the Forest. Even the darkest jungle keeps a lamp for those who carry dharma within. Sage Agastya. 1. Crossing the Dandaka threshold. From Chitrakoot's quartz-pink bluffs, the exiles press south, answering the sage's plea to cleanse the vast Dandaka forest of blood-drinking Rakshasas. Bala and Atibala, mantras taught by sage Vishvamitra, sustained them against hunger, yet it was hope, not spellcraft, that brightened Sītā's gate. Days smelled of sandalwood and wet bark. Nights rang with owl shrieks and distant drums. Once, a dust-pale spirit drifted beside the trail, warbling omens. Rāma saluted with joined palms. The phantom bowed and vanished as though inhaled by moonlight. At the hermitage of Atri, the air tasted of ghee and kindness. Sage Anasuya, eyes milky with age yet diamond clear in compassion, welcomed Sītā like a lost granddaughter. Anasuya. Child, cling to Sattva Dharma as the earth clings to the sun. No eclipse lasts forever. She pressed into Sūtā's hands a silken sari woven with lotus thread. Its fragrance alone repelled malice. Second, Virāda, demon of the pit. 3 dawns later, a thunderous bellow shook Deodar crowns. Out lunged Virāda, sinews slung over bones like vine on ruin, eyes twin furnaces. He seized Esther, hoisting her as trophy. Virāda. I am blessed by Brahma to spurn ordinary weapons. Flee, tender princes, lest I feast upon your marrow. Rāma's arrow scored, but mended like cut water. Lakṣmaṇa charged, blades whirring, yet steel clanged useless on fiend hide. Remembering Vishvamitra's counsel, when arrows fail, bend the earth itself. Rāma motioned. They snapped Virāda's arms, felled him, and together scooped a trench with speed that blurred limbs. Bound by mantra, the demon's immortality waned when earth closed over him. Virāda, sinking. Gifted are you, Raghava. Slay Rāvaṇa next. I die unchained from his yoke. The ground sighed shut, sealing prophecy with loam. 3rd sages, spears, and the march to Panchavat. Grateful hermits furnished the brothers with celestial javelins, moon-shaped axes, and a quiver that renewed itself at sunrise. They guided the party to the southern bend of the Godavar River, where banyans arched like cathedrals. There, the venerable Agastya awaited, radiating quiet like a lamp in thick fog. His hut was so pure even mosquitoes chanted Vedas. Agastya. Prince, take this Brahma Datta Kodanda, the bow once strung by Vishnu, and weapons of wind, thunder, and sun. Evil will march against you wearing many faces. He pointed farther south to the beautiful Panchavatu grove, 5 immense banyans circling a lake clear as polished obsidian. Make it your hearth, but stay wary of Lanka's shadows. In Panchavat, Rāma raised a leaf-thatched cottage. Jatayu, the great vulture, old friend of Dasharatha, settled on an overhanging branch like a feathered sentinel. I watched your father crown wars with mercy. Allow me to guard his heirs, he croaked. Peace hovered, a dragonfly above still water, until one noon its wings snapped. 4th, Shurpanaka's proposal. A perfume half floral, half carrion drifted through canebrake. Out stepped Shurpanaka, sister of Rāvaṇa, hips swaying, nails like scimitars, hair a storm cloud gone feral. With sorcery she softened tusk and tint, assuming a voluptuous human guise. Shurpanaka, purring to Rāma. O blueberry-skinned hero, weary of twiggy hermits and pale waifs, make me your queen and command Lanka's pleasures. Rāma smiled, equal parts courtesy and caution. Rāma, lady, I am wed, but behold my brother, brave, unwed, and far handsomer. Lakṣmaṇa choked on mirth. Lakṣmaṇa, teasing, indeed, my arms ache for a Raksas bride. Shurpanaka's desire flipped to rage. She lunged at Sītā, claws poised to harvest a rival's throat. Lakṣmaṇa's khadga flashed, one precise arc, and severed nose and ears. Blood spattered lotus leaves. Shurpanaka's scream curdled parrots mid-song. She fled, wobbling, shrieking vengeance toward the Rakshasa citadel of Kara. Kara and Dusana advance. Clouds massed like bruises. Kara, boar-tusked cousin to Rāvaṇa, mustered 14,000 demons under Commander Dusana. Drums carved from skulls pounded, banners of flayed tiger hide cracked in the wind. Jatayu warned Rāma, who sent Sītā into a vine-latticed cave with Lakṣmaṇa guarding. Alone before the cottage, Rāma strung Agastya's bow. Its hum deepened the sky's hue. Kara, booming. Return my sister's face, or feed the roots with your heart. Rāma, ask the forest how it greets wildfire. The charge erupted, a black tidal bore of pikes and tusks. Rāma's arrows fell staccato, each whispering a mantra. Agneya ignited foes mid-stride, Vayavya spun cyclones, Gandharva blinded, Indra Astra split the air like silver lightning. Demons dissolved, embodied malice turned to ash that snowed upon trampled fern. Dusana closed, wielding a club bedazzled with fangs. Rāma's arrow pierced his armored throat, the giant toppled, earth shuddering. Kara's war cry faltered to doubt. He mounted a last assault, but was skewered by 3 shafts, forming a trident of light. The battlefield fell eerily silent, save for ember hiss and whimper of wounded earth. 6th Twilight on Panchavat. Lakṣmaṇa emerged with Sītā after the din ceased. She knelt amid cinders, whispering prayers for slain adversaries, compassion that astonished even forest spirits. But Shurpanakha was not among the dead. Face bandaged, soul incandescent with humiliation, she hurtled toward the golden ramparts of Lanka, each heartbeat chanting a 2-syllable litany. Rāma! Rāma! That night, Panchavat glowed under fireflies. Rāma mended his bowstring. Lakṣmaṇa brewed neem salve for cuts. Sītā hummed a lullaby that once drifted through Ayodhya's nursery corridors. Overhead, an owl hooted thrice, omen of travelers on the move. Far across the sea, in halls veined with lapis, Rāvaṇa's crowned heads turned to listen. Vengeance, having found its herald, began to sharpen claws. Episode 3. The Abduction. Desire, once invited in, bolts every exit behind it. Sage Vyasa. News that shook Lanka. Beyond the southern horizon rose the triple-terraced citadel of Lanka, its walls inlaid with corals that caught sunrise like molten banners. There Rāvaṇa, 10-headed king of the Rakshasas, reclined on a throne of carved elephant ivory, jeweled goblet in hand. Into that hall stormed his sister Shurpanakha, nostrils packed with camphor, bandages hiding the ruin of nose and ears. She flung herself before the dais. Shurpanakha, voice hoarse as sand. Brother, are these scars not worthy of royal wrath? 2 mortal youths maimed me, then butchered Kara and Dusana, along with 14,000 of your legion. Rāvaṇa's 20 fiery eyes narrowed. Music ceased. Dancers froze mid-pose. Rāvaṇa. Mortals. Speak their names. Shurpanakha. Rāma and Lakṣmaṇa of Ayodhya. But it is not for myself I beg justice. Rāma's wife walked the battlefield unscathed, skin of sandalwood, eyes like forest pools. Sāta is jewel enough to shame Indra's court. Desire flickered across 10 brows. Rāvaṇa's many voices merged into a single growl. Rāvaṇa. If light itself has taken mortal form, Lanka shall house it. Second counsel of the unheeding king. Though ruled by impulse, Rāvaṇa kept counsel to clothe passion in strategy. He summoned Marika, veteran sorcerer-warrior, now ascetic fisherman on the island's far coast, since his last defeat by Rāma's arrow. When golden palanquin reached the hermitage, Marika greeted the king with stiff reverence. Behind his humility lurked dread. He remembered being hurled 100 leagues by a single shaft. Rāvaṇa. Old friend, I need your gifts of illusion. Transform into a kankana murga, a golden deer so wondrous no mortal bride could resist. Lure Rāma away. Sītā will be mine. Marika's heart iced over. Marika. My lord, the prince you affront is no ordinary man. His arrows carry Brahma's seal. This venture is death's doorway for me, and doom for Lanka. Rāvaṇa's laugh shook palm fronds. Rāvaṇa. Fear has thinned your blood, hermit. Choose, serve me, or taste the steel you forged for others. Marika saw 2 futures, swift death by royal blade, or perhaps salvation for Lanka bought with his own life. He bowed, tears hidden in beard. The third, the enchanted clearing. Back in Panchavat, the forest breathed a lazy noon. Sītā wove garlands, Lakṣmaṇa fletched arrows, Rāma sketched a map of sages' hermitages. Suddenly, sunlight scattered, made prismatic by something flashing between trunks. Out stepped a stag ablaze with beauty, coat of alternating gold and lapis, antlers tipped with ruby sparks, hooves of crystal. It nibbled moss, then bounded, tail leaving comet trails of silver dust. Sītā, eyes widening. Aryaputra, never has earth cradled such a creature. Capture it, that it may grace our hermitage and delight Bharata when we return. Rāma smiled. Desire in another's eyes can be harder to deny than one's own. He lifted Agastya's bow. Rāma, brother, guard Sītā. This hunt shall not wander far. He followed the deer, which danced always a spear throw beyond reach, deeper into groves thick with teak and ghost-white carnicara. Forth, voices through the trees. An hour passed, then another. Birds fell eerily mute. Sīta's excitement wilted into unease. Sītā, to Lakṣmaṇa. The forest seems to hold its breath. Listen. From distant ridges came Rāma's cry. Ha Sītā! Ha Lakṣmaṇa! Anguish jagged as shattered glass. Sītā's bangles rattled with terror. Sītā, your brother is hurt. Go! Lakṣmaṇa. No illusion can mimic his voice without lifting a hair on my neck, and mine stay calm. He commanded me to guard you. Sītā, if you let Rāma perish, what use is loyalty? I will cast myself in fire. Lakṣmaṇa's resolve crumbled. He drew a glowing line around the cottage threshold, murmuring Lakṣmaṇa Rekha, a barrier no ill intent could cross. Lakṣmaṇa, step not beyond this circle until both of us return. He sprinted into the green hush. Rāma's arrow and Marika's last gift. Far away, the golden deer paused beside a ravine. Rāma loosed a shaft powered by Prajapati Astra. The arrow pierced the beast, glamour shattered like stained glass. Marika resumed his demonic form, chest impaled. With dying breath he screamed, perfectly mimicking Rāma's earlier anguish, knowing the cry would seed calamity. Marika, whispering to Rāma, my death gifts you peril. Guard your moon-eyed wife. He collapsed, face softening in acceptance, freed from both terror and Lanka's bonds. Rāma felt dread unfold its wings. Sixth mendicant at the door. Back at the cottage, a Brahmin mendicant's voice rasped beyond the Lakṣmaṇa Rekha. He appeared ancient yet stately, draped in saffron, skull-topped staff in hand, Rāvaṇa disguised by mantra. Mendicant, alms Devi. No guest should depart unfed. Sāta's upbringing in Janaka's palace revered hospitality above safety. She stepped across the glowing line bearing fruit and water. The air cracked, spell broken. The sage's shadow stretched, split into 10. An oceanic roar quaked banyan trunks. Sītā, who are you? Rāvaṇa, casting aside disguise. Rāvaṇa, lord of all that stalks the night. Come willingly to Lanka, where queens dine on sunlit pearls. Sītā, chains cannot bind the wind, nor threats corrupt virtue. Her refusal fanned his lust. He seized her, lifting skyward upon his flying chariot, Puspaka Vimana, steered by the demon steed Mula. Sītā screamed Rāma's name as jungle canopy folded beneath. Seventh, Jatayu's last flight. The clamour roused Jatayu. Wings vast as temple awnings unfurled, talons sharpened on decades of dharma arc toward the sky. Jatayu, calling to Rāvaṇa. Unhand that daughter of Janaka. You steal fire. It will burn Lanka to soot. Rāvaṇa drew his scimitar, but the vulture elder struck first, slashing harness, beating heads with pinion blows. Puspaka lurched, Sīta's tears scattered like rain pearls. The duel etched streaks of dawn across heaven. Finally, Rāvaṇa severed Jatayu's left wing, bones cracked like felled cedar. The vulture spiraled down, carving a trail of blood through clouds, crashing into a hillside grove of shimshapa trees. As she vanished across the sea, Sītā loosened her hairpin, anklets, and the yellow silk scarf Anasuya had gifted, tokens that twirled earthward into forest shadow. Eighth Ashoka Grove, captive. Puspaka alighted in Lanka's inner court. Ravana's queens watched, some in pity, some in envy, as Sītā stood unbowed. He ushered her to the Ashoka Vatika, a garden perfumed by night-blooming blossoms, enclosed by spired walls and demon sentries. Rāvaṇa, you have 12 months to accept me. Each dawn you refuse subtracts a finger from your captor's patience. Sītā gathered fallen flowers into a prayer knot, sat beneath a shimshapa tree, and closed her eyes. Sūtā, whispering, may virtue be my armor, memory my lamp. Hold me, Rāma, in thought if not in arms. 9th. Brothers beside a dying friend. Meanwhile, Rāma met Lakṣmaṇa beneath moon-bright teak. Rāma's face, drained of its usual serenity, asked questions without sound. They raced back to the cottage, found it empty, petals strewn like abandoned hopes. Panic streaked through marrow. As they searched, a faint voice called. Jatayu lay broken, breathing in ragged whistles. Rāma knelt, tears cutting tracks through ash on his cheeks. Rāma, revered friend, who did this? Jatayu, Rāvaṇa, south, across the sea. I tried. He lifted a talon to Rāma's head in a final blessing. Breath fled, wings fell hush. Rāma wept as though the forest itself were dying. Lakṣmaṇa gathered Sītā's ornaments from Jatayu's side. Each bangle was a tiny dagger now. 10. The curse of rage. Grief ignited fury. Rāma's eyes reddened until whites vanished. Veins laced his arms like coiled serpents. He threatened to dry every river, torch every tree, if the world conspired to hide Sūtā. Lakṣmaṇa. Brother, wrath is acid. It burns the cup that holds it. Let purpose guide fire into arrows, not inward. Slowly the storm subsided into resolve. They performed Jatayu's funeral rites, lighting a pyre with sandalwood branches. A breeze arose, carrying smoke northward as if escorting the vulture's soul to ancestral skies. 11. The spectre with long arms. Southward they trod until midday heat shimmered into mirage. Suddenly earth yawned, and 2 arms longer than palm tree trunks coiled around them. Kabanda, once a celestial, cursed into a torso with gaping mouth at its center and single eye blazing above. Kabanda. Luckless mortals, your flesh will line my hollow. Blades flashed, arrows riddled sinew. They severed the arms. Kabanda toppled. Dying, clarity returned to his eye. Curse peeled away. Kabanda, voice mellow. A prophecy breathes through my torment. If Rāma frees me, I must free him with counsel. Seek Sugriva, banished king of the Vanaras, who dwells on Siyamukha mountain. His general Hanuman knows skies and seas. Through them lies the road to Lanka. The spirit ascended like amber smoke. 12th, Shabar, and the 7 lotus ponds. Following Kabanda's guidance, the brothers entered the hermitage of Shabar, an aged Bhaila devotee of sage Matanga. She welcomed them with trembling joy, laying before them berries she had tasted to ensure sweetness, an act of love that melted the prince's sorrow. Shabar. Across Pampa Lake, banana groves lead to Siyamukha, where Sugriva pines. Take these lotus seeds. They will bloom at dawn and remind you of Sita's eyes. They bowed. Behind them, Shabar stepped into her pyre, unafraid, joining her guru in realms where longing ends. Flowers rained from cloudless sky as if the ashram itself applauded devotion. 13. Toward the Monkey King. Pampa Lake shimmered turquoise, bordered by orchids and stalwart sal trees. On its far bank loomed Siyamukha, cliffs carved by prehistoric lava, rumored immune to the wrath of demonic King Vali. As the brothers rested under flowering Katoka, a tawny ape figure watched from boulder heights, Hanuman, minister to Sugriva. His keen eyes took in Rāma's royal bearing, the storm of grief still ghosting his face, Lakṣmaṇa's watchful poise. Hanuman assumed the guise of a forest ascetic and descended to greet them. His voice blended gravity and warmth. Hanuman. O warriors, your prowess flickers through your silence. What brings royal steel to hermit crags? Lakṣmaṇa recounted the tale. Exile, abduction, vow of rescue. Hanuman's heart hammered with sudden purpose. Ancient seers had whispered of a human ally who would rid the world of Rakshasa tyranny. Hanuman, shedding disguise, bowing low. I am Hanuman, born of wind and service. My lord Sugriva shares a wound akin to yours. His throne stolen, his wife seized by Vali. Alliance shall heal both hearts. Rama clasped Hanuman's hands, the first steady bridge across his ocean of despair. 14th, Knots of Destiny, Titan. As dusk curtained Pampa, the three figures climbed toward Ursyamuka's summit, where campfires winked like scattered constellations. Sparks rose into night, merging with stars that seemed now to wheel with renewed intent. On a throne of hewn sandal trunk sat Sugriva, amber-furred, eyes troubled yet brightening at Hanuman's return. In the moments before formal introductions, Rama gazed southward. Somewhere past those ranges and the blue vastness beyond them, Sītā waited, unyielding as the pole star. He rested a hand on the bow of Vishnu and felt its pulse echo his own. A war unlike any the world had witnessed would soon ignite. Armies of apes and bears battering ocean waves, gods lending weapons, demons roaring from ivory ramparts. But first came friendship, the forge of all righteous victories. And so the exiled prince took a breath scented with pampa blossoms and stepped forward into the firelight. Episode 4. Across the Ocean. Friendship is the bridge the righteous build when fate erases roads. Sage Narada. I. A hand clasp on Rishyamukha. Wind combed tall grasses on Rishyamukha mountain as Hanuman led the princes to a firelit clearing. There stood Sugriva, sinews tight with caution, amber eyes flicking from Lakṣmaṇa's drawn bow to the sapphire calm on Rama's brow. Hanuman spoke first, voice a tempered drum. Hanuman, my king, this is Rama of Ayodhya, exiled by fate, robbed of his queen by Rāvaṇa. His story mirrors ours. Rama stepped forward, unstrung, bow lowered. Rama, a demon's lust stole my wife. Betrayal banished you. Let our griefs entwine into strength. Sugriva's suspicion thawed. He clasped Rama's hand. Sparks seemed to leap between palm lines. Sugriva, swear by the sacred fire, free me from Vali's tyranny, and every simian sinew shall search for Sītā. They circled the blaze, chanting vows. Flames bent inward as though bowing to covenant. Second tale of the two brothers. Over palm leaf wine, Sugriva laid bare his wound. Vali, elder brother, once king of Kiškinda, had pursued a demon into the cavernous Mayavin cave. Days stretched to months. When blood gushed from the cave mouth, Sugriva assumed Vali dead and sealed the entrance with a boulder to save the clan. But Vali burst out alive, rage eclipsing sense, branding Sugriva traitor and seizing both throne and wife Rūma. Sugriva, voice cracking. He hunts me still. The curse of sage Matanga alone shields Rishyamukha from his tread. Rama listened, anger simmering like molten copper. Justice demanded reckoning. 3. The bowstring speaks. Next dawn, rain clouds smeared hilltops as Rama, Lakṣmaṇa, and Sugriva marched to Kiškinda's outer glade. Vali's roars rattled fig trees. Sugriva challenged, but faltered when Vali's thunderous form emerged, copper-furred, wrists stacked with skull beads. Battle erupted. Two simian hurricanes locking limbs. Their identical frames whirred so fast, Rama could not loose an arrow without risking Sugriva. The younger escaped, shame painting his fur. Rama consoled him, garlanding Sugriva with a Gajapuspa wreath for easy recognition. They returned. Again the brothers clashed. Amid spinning fists and dust clouds, Rama's Indra Shakti arrow streaked like sunrise. It pierced Vali's chest. Vali staggered, fury draining into bewilderment. he beheld Rāma. Vali, why strike unseen? Rāma, I am Satriya, guardian of dharma. You stole another's wife and kingdom. Arrow is the verdict you summoned. Understanding replaced rage. Vali's last glance sought Sugriva. Grief, not triumph, flooded the younger's face. With a trembling paw, Sugriva closed his brother's eyes. Monkeys wailed, forest echoed with a dirge older than moonlight. Fourth coronation and the monsoon lull. Within emerald ramparts of Kishkinda, Sugriva was anointed king. Streams of honey, ghee, and spring water cascaded over his crown. Ruma clasped his arm, joy and sorrow braided in her smile. The monsoon's temptation. Rāma and Lakṣmaṇa waited on Prasravana hill through the monsoon months, while Sugriva savoured royal ease. Rain drummed endless hymns, waterfalls stitched veils across cliffs, yet each droplet sharpened Rāma's longing. When clouds dispersed and no summons came, Lakṣmaṇa's fury flared. He stormed Kishkinda, eyes red as new-forged steel. Hanuman intercepted him, ushered him into the court where Sugriva, flushed with wine, jolted sober at the prince's glare. Lakṣmaṇa, seasons switch like dice, yet your pledge lies idle. Sugriva, bowing, forgive. I will marshal every creature that swings from a branch or digs in dust. Within hours, conchis blared. From Vindhya grottos, Mahendra peaks, and Dandaka's remotest tangles, Vanara hordes converged. Brown, gold, silver, some with tiger stripes, some with bear-like heft. The plateau pulsed with war drums carved from hollowed teak. Search parties and Sampati's revelation. 4 divisions fanned out to cardinal realms under captains Angada, Nala, Nila, and Hanuman. Rāma pressed his signet ring into Hanuman's palm. Rāma, show her this. Its memory is warmer than any sun. Hanuman's team swept south till ocean hemmed the horizon, roaring vast, an impossible moat. Days passed, hunger gnawed, hope thinned. On a cliff they found Sampati, aged vulture whose wings had scorched under the sun while shielding his brother Jatayu in youth. Hearing Jatayu's fate, Sampati's grief rekindled latent vision. He peered across the sea. Sampati, 1,000 yojanas south, in golden-walled Lanka, I spy a woman beneath an ashoka tree, pale satin on dusky earth, guarded by fiends. Revelation electrified the ranks, yet despair trailed. None could cross such breadth, except perhaps wind-sired Hanuman. 6th mountain, Leaper awakens. Hanuman ascended Mahendra Peak, where surf exploded below. Remembering childhood tales, he silenced doubt, grew in stature, legs thick as banyan trunks, torso rising through mist. Vanaras gasped. Hanuman, if purpose be pure, mountains bow. He knelt, pressed Angada and friends to his heart, then bounded. Mahendra recoiled as if kicked by god-thunder, gusts uprooted pines, clouds shredded. Mid-air, ocean personified surfaced, offering whales as stepping stones, but Hanuman soared on. Mainaka, golden mountain exiled beneath waves, rose to give him rest. Hanuman blessed, but refused respite. The demoness Simika lurked, power to seize shadows and thus bodies. She clutched his aerial silhouette. He dived into her maw, expanded, tore her heart, and burst free, continuing unbloodied. At dusk, Lanka appeared, an ember-rimmed lotus isle. Hanuman shrank to cat's eyes and alighted on a shore where coral sand glowed like embers. 7th night prowl in Lanka. He leapt ramparts, evading sentry ogres. The city dazzled, mansions of jade, streets paved with moonstone, aromas of spice and sin intermingling. Lankini, she demon-gate spirit, sensed him. A single punch sent her sprawling. Rising, she smiled strangely. Lankini. Eons ago Brahma prophesied, when a Vanara's blow subdues me, Lanka's doom nears. She faded, curse expired. Hanuman sprang from rooftop to eave, scanning palaces. In Ravana's harem he found jeweled couches where queens dreamed perfume dreams, but no Sītā. At last, the Ashoka Vatika garden unfolded, luminous champaka trees, pools reflecting star fretwork, and, beneath a bent Shimshapa, Sītā, limbs slender, face wan yet resolute. Tears cut silent paths as she shaped Rama's name onto dust. 8. A token and a promise. Hanuman perched on a limb overhead, chanting softly the lineage of Raghu. Sītā startled, suspicion flashing. He dropped Rama's ring, moonlight kissed its royal crest. Recognition shattered despair. Sītā, voice quivering. Is this hope or hallucination? Hanuman. Hope, Devi. I am Hanuman, envoy of your lord. Armies assemble, dawn of rescue reddens eastern clouds. She pressed the ring to her brow, tears mingling with relief. She gave him her Chudamani, hair jewel. My memory cast in gold. Hanuman bowed, mission complete. Yet his warrior blood sought to thin demon ranks. 9th, mayhem and capture. He uprooted pillars, smashed orchards, slew Praetorian guards. Alarm gongs convulsed. The Prince Aksa attacked with chariot and composite bow. Hanuman dashed the chariot, pitching Aksa lifeless into Lotus Pond. Finally, Indrajit, Ravana's sorcerer's son, loosed the Brahma Pasha, snare of ethereal serpents. Hanuman allowed capture, curious to gauge the demon king. Bound yet unbowed, he was dragged into Ravana's throne hall, a cavern of turquoise columns and perpetual incense. Audience gasped at the audacity of a lone Vanara laying waste to regiments. Rāvaṇa, eyes burning like twin eclipses, demanded identity. Hanuman declared himself messenger of Rama, warned of impending war. The court roared for death, but Ravana's ministers recalled Brahma's decree against slaying envoys. Instead, Rāvaṇa ordered Hanuman's tail wrapped in oil-soaked cloth and set ablaze. X. Trail of fire. Demons paraded Hanuman through streets, torching the long tail. Pain kindled resolve. He shrank bonds, leapt free, and took flame with him, vaulting across rooftops, igniting armories, granaries, banners. Lanka turned into a necklace of fires mirrored by horrified eyes. Fearing Sītā's safety, Hanuman doused his tail in the palace fountain, raced to Ashoka Vatika. She remained untouched. Wind gods steered flames away. Hanuman bowed, promised swift return, and sprang back across the sea, night still ablaze behind him. 11th Return of the Tide-Bearer. At dawn, the Vanara camp sat under withered morale when a dark speck expanded above waves. Hanuman landing with thunderclap spray. Cheers warped air. He recounted exploits, delivered Sītā's jewel to Rāma. Rāma, clasping Chudamani. Her fragrance lingers in this stone. My bow shall echo her heartbeat across Lanka's walls. Strategy councils buzzed. Nala, architect Vanara, proposed engineering a bridge of stone and tree trunks over the ocean. Rama's piercing glance asked the sea for passage. When waves roared defiance, he notched an arrow tipped with cosmic fire. Ocean Lord Samudra emerged, pleading mercy, and offered calm waters if the bridge rose upon them. 12th. Stones that float. Under Nala's guidance, apes hefted mountains, etched each rock with Rama's name, and dropped them, miracle. They floated, knitting into a causeway. Bears under Jambavan hammered pillars. Squirrels ferried pebbles, tails brushed by Rama in gentle thanks, magnifying their zeal. 5 days forged 30 leagues of roadway. Conchis droned completion. Rama, Sugriva, and armies unfurled banners, sun emblazoned, wind gifted, stepped onto the bridge as sunrise gilded the western sea. 13th War Clouds. Over Lanka. Across the strait, Ravana surveyed smouldering suburbs, tale of Hanuman's havoc. His council split. Noble Vibhishana urged return of Sītā to avert ruin. Generals Kumbhakarna, Prahasta, and Indrajit clamoured for annihilation. Ravana spurned prudence. Vibhishana, heart heavy, defected. crossing skies to kneel at Rama's feet. Rama welcomed him, crowning him future king of Lanka should Dharma triumph. Trust sealed, plans crystallized. Tomorrow the sea of fur and fang would crash upon ivory bastions. Night blanketed camps, yet sleep eluded the prince. He held Esther's jewel to starlight, a portable sunrise, and whispered, Rama, sun and moon may switch thrones, oceans may drink clouds, but I will reach you, Maithil. Wind carried his vow toward the island, where, beneath the Ashoka tree, a captive queen touched her heart and smiled at nothing her guards could see. Episode 5. The Great War. When forces beyond counting collide, the pivot of fate remains a single heart that holds to Dharma. Sage Bharadvaja. A bridge of dawn. Sea mist clung to the newly laid Setu Banda as first light bled rose and gold across its floating stones. Rama led the Vanara bear host columns in cadence, conchis, kettle drums, and the deep-throated Dhaka, shaking gulls from flight. Beside him strode Lakṣmaṇa, arrow tips glinting like caged lightning. Behind, banners of Sugriva, Jambavan, Nila, and Angada rippled salt spray. From Lanka's ramparts, demons watched the hairy tide advance, an omen not found in any soothsayer's scroll. Rāvaṇa mounted the ivory tower over Suvela Gate, crimson cloak snapping, 10 brows furrowed in disbelief that mortals and beasts dared his sea moat. Yet drums answered drums. By mid-morning, the invading army fanned across Lanka's northern plain. Second parley of last chances. Before steel could sing, Rama sent envoy Angada, Vali's son, to offer one final peace. In Ravana's throne hall of turquoise pillars, Angada planted his foot. Angada, return Esther unsoiled, beg forgiveness, and Ayodhya's prince spares Lanka. Rāvaṇa, laughing from 10 throats. If oceans could boil on command, perhaps I might bend, yet not to monkeys. Angada, unfazed, dared any Rakshasa to budge his planted leg. Many tried, none succeeded. With contempt he kicked the gem-inlaid floor, cracking it, and vaulted away. The final gate to diplomacy slammed shut. Third day won. Clash of champions. The opening roar was Prahasta, Ravana's marshal, hurling iron-spiked maces that flattened dozens. Nila met him mid-field, granite boulder smashed against armor until Prahasta fell beneath his own shattered chariot. Elsewhere, Jambavan spun like an aged cyclone, bear claws rending phalanxes. Lakṣmaṇa's shafts cut crescents through demon cavalry. By dusk, charnel smoke swirled with jasmine, and the plain drank colors only twilight names. Fourth nightfall sorcery. Indrajit's illusion. Darkness emboldened Indrajit, Meghanada, master of night spells. He vanished into ether, chanting serpent mantras. Invisible arrows, whistling vipers, struck Rāma and Lakṣmaṇa. Snake coils solidified, binding limbs, draining vigor. Cheers erupted atop Lanka's walls, but Garuda, Eagle Lord, smelt the serpent spell from far skies. His arrival ripped wind like silk. One glare scattered the Naga arrows, bonds melted. Indrajit fled to his Nikumbila, sacrificial grove, dusk closing her wings behind him. V-Day 2, Kumbhakarna rises. Rāvaṇa, rattled, woke his sleeping Titan brother Kumbhakarna, whose naps spanned seasons. Drums, elephants, and lava wine could barely stir him. Finally, Rāvaṇa whispered that outsiders mocked Lanka and had stolen his honor. That pierced the giant's dream fog. Kumbhakarna lumbered out, mountain of flesh, laugh like crumbling cliffs. Vanara scattered. He seized warriors by the fistful, chewing through cries. Sugriva hurled trees to little avail. Even Rama's arrows trembled on entry. Remembering Agastya's gifts, Rama loosed the Indra Astra to sever the Titan's arms, then the Brahma Shakti, a sun-core dart that beheaded Kumbhakarna. The colossus toppled, earth quaked, morale seesawed. Lanka wept, Vanaras roared. Sixth Indrajit's nether ambush. Grief drove Indrajit deeper into black magic. Completing a secret Nikumbila yajna, he gained lethal invincibility for a day. At dawn, he unleashed the Shakti lance of Chakra upon Lakṣmaṇa, who fell, chest blood frothing. The herb quest. Cleric physician Sushena diagnosed one remedy: Sanjivani and 4 allied herbs growing only on Mount Dronagiri in far-off Himalaya. Hanuman vaulted north, outracing falcons. Unable to locate the exact sprigs in moonfog, he tore the entire mountaintop free, clutching it like a leafy thundercloud, and hurtled back. Sense revived Lakṣmaṇa. Wounded masses drank dew off the herbs, rising renewed. Stars dimmed in wonder at such medicine. 7th Day 4. Lakṣmaṇa versus Indrajit. Invincibility lapsed with dawn. Guided by Vibhasana, Lakṣmaṇa, Hanuman, and Angada invaded the sacrificial grove before Indrajit could repeat the ritual. A monumental duel flashed, arrows weaving lattices of fire and frost, spells counterspells. Indrajit's triple-headed illusion shattered under Lakṣmaṇa's mantra, charged spear of Mahendra. Severed head rolled, screeching curses, then combusted into blue flame. The grove wilted, omen of Lanka's spine snapped. 8th Rāvaṇa enters the field. Rage turned Ravana's eyes garnet. He mounted the Yuddha drawn by black asses exhaling sparks. The king's standard, fiery trident over crescent moon, preceded a barrage of astras. Tamashakti dimmed noon, Rudra Astra ignited air. Rāma countered with Aditya Astra, restoring daylight, and Maheshvara Astra, splitting the demon's bow. Night forced pause. Vanara slumped amid smouldering Fengu logs. Rāma, sensing cosmic stakes, performed Prayana Anjali, water offering to ancestors, asking strength for the morrow when destinies would bleed. 9th. Sage Agastya's hymn. At sunrise, as armies formed ranks, Sage Agastya appeared above the battlefield, ethereal. He taught Rāma the Aditya Hridayam hymn, invocation to the sun, god Surya. Chanting it filled Rāma with blazing serenity. Even fear felt cool beside this radiance. 10. The final duel. Bow versus 10 crowns. Conch shells cracked the hush. Rāma and Ravana faced each other alone, armies a silent crescent. Ravana unleashed Yama Astra, arrow of death. Rāma countered with Vishnu Astra, life's governor. Mountains shook as astras collided, birthing thunder. Ravana sprouted 1,000 decoys. Rāma invoked Indra's Vajra, annihilating illusions. Lakṣmaṇa slew the charioteer. Matali, Indra's own, descended with a celestial chariot for Rāma. 10 tongues uttered mantras older than oceans. Arrows rained meteors. Yet Rāma held poise, a still eye in cosmic storm. The Brahmastra. Remembering Agastya's counsel, he fitted the Brahmastra, a reed of light forged from creation's first syllable. Whispering Om, he loosed it. It sped, fish swimming time itself, shattering each weapon shield Ravana conjured. Piercing armor, heart, and finally ego, the arrow exited in a plume of lotus-red flame. Ravana's crowns tumbled like failing suns. The Titan crashed, earth catching him with thunderous grief. Across battlements demons wailed. Vanaras fell silent in awe. Gods rained flowers unseen by mortal eye. 11th. Aftermath and Vibhasana's coronation. Rāma commanded rites befitting a mighty foe. Mandodari, Ravana's principal queen, keened, but found strangers among the victors conducting ceremonies with dignified reverence. Council crowned Vibhasana as Lanka's king. He vowed to restore justice, dismantle fear shrines, and make every child's lullaby safe from demon lull. 12th reunion at Ashoka Vatika. Escorted by Hanuman, Rāma approached the garden where Sūkta waited, face pale crescent beneath a scarf. Eyes met, 2 lamp flames recognizing home after storm, yet Dharma demanded proof against whispered scandal. Rāma voiced the bitter protocol. She must undergo Agni Paraksa, fire ordeal, to silence doubt. Tears welled, but Sītā stepped into the blaze. Flames curled around sandalwood saree like welcoming rails. Agni Deva himself rose, presenting her untouched, declaring her purity brighter than the fire that tried to taste it. Rāma's composure cracked. He held her, forehead on hers, as camp cheers echoed cliffs. 13th. Homeward on the Puspaka. With war ashes cooling, Rāma, Sītā, Lakṣmaṇa, and allies boarded Puspaka Vimana, the same sky chariot that once carried sorrow but now ferried triumph. Cities, rivers, and quilted fields scrolled below. Over Nandigrama they descended. There Bharata waited, hair matted, ruling from a humble hut, Rāma's wooden sandals upon the throne. Seeing his brothers, joy convulsed him. He placed the sandals at Rāma's feet, tears baptizing dusty toes. The 14-year exile's final hour struck. Ayodhya's gates blossomed with marigold garlands and resounding drums as the rightful heir returned. But the coronation, the age of Rama Rajya, and the greater questions of legacy still lay ahead. Challenges subtler than Rakshasa blades, for even gods cannot script hearts free of rumor, nor shield a king from the cost of perfection. Episode 6, Return and Coronation. The hardest vows are not forged on battlefields, but in the silent chambers of conscience. Sage Valmiki, first Ayodhya's festival of light. Conches trembled the very air when Puspaka Vimana drifted over Ayodhya like a mobile sunrise. Citizens flooded terraces, lamps rimmed every parapet. Flowered elephants trumpeted, and children pelted the sky with saffron petals as Rāma, Sītā, Lakṣmaṇa, Hanuman, and the Vanara chiefs disembarked upon silvered gangways. Inside the palace, white-haired priest Vasistha read auspicious verses, while Kaikeyi, Sumitra, and Kaushalya wept contrition and relief in alternating waves. Rāma bowed first to mothers, then to Bharata, whose shoulders still bore the calluses of ascetic ropes. The brothers embraced. Dust of exile mingled with the oil of coronation as their tears patterned the marble. A chariot inlaid with quartz bore Rāma through throngs to the royal pavilion. There he seated Sītā beside him, lotus to his blue-hued lake, while Vasistha anointed their brows with sacred jal, ghee, and powdered sandal. A 1,000-petaled umbrella unfurled above the pair. The court cried, Jaya Rāma, Jaya Maithil. Rama Rajya dawns. Under his reign the kingdom blossomed. Harvests tripled, for clouds obey a just king, sages said. Crime fled to memory. Locks rusted from disuse. Widows and orphans ate at public kitchens. Traders found highways safer than dreams. Even parrots learned to recite Dharma sutras from listening at open windows. Sītā walked anonymity's lanes at dusk, distributing alms beneath a cloak. Lakṣmaṇa oversaw civic works, Bharata governed trade, Shatrughna subdued frontier bandits, Hanuman organized granaries that never emptied. For a season, the world believed perfection had finally pitched camp on mortal ground. Second, a whisper in the laundry steam. Perfection shivers at the faintest breeze of doubt. One humid night, Rāma disguised himself and strolled Ayodhya's back alleys, curious about common discourse. He passed a washerman flogging sheets against a stone and quarrelling with his wife, who begged to spend the night at her parents' home. Washerman, snarling. Do I look like Rāma to take back a woman who lived beneath another man's roof? Stay here or stay gone. The words left welts hotter than any battlefield wound. Rāma's sandals felt suddenly heavy. He returned to the council chamber, face a calm lake hiding undertow. The midnight council. Ministers assembled. Torchlight flickered on troubled brows. Rāma, voice steady, eyes eclipsed. My virtue is Ayodhya's spine. If whispers corrode it, the realm crumbles. Though Esata's purity equals fire's own heart, perception weighs heavier than truth. Silence curdled into dread. At dawn he summoned Lakṣmaṇa. Rāma, brother, duty knots my tongue. Escort Sītā to the hermitage of sage Valmiki on the far Tamasa river. Abandon her with protection. Reveal no reason. Lakṣmaṇa's bow slipped from numb fingers. Lakṣmaṇa, weeping. I slew giants gladly, but this slays me. Rāma, voice cracking once, then stealing. Dharma sometimes demands the exile of the heart to safeguard the kingdom. Go. Third forest of unnamed sorrows. Pregnant and unsuspecting, Sītā rode a modest cart past the city she had just clothed in prosperity. When Lakṣmaṇa halted at the Tamasa's misty ford, tears betrayed him. Sītā, softly. The forest receives me again, I see. Tell my lord I bear no anger, only love as wide as the sky we share. Lakṣmaṇa bowed till his forehead kissed dust darkened by his tears, then fled lest courage fail altogether. Alone, Sītā followed forest bird song to Valmiki's ashram, where the sage greeted her as though forewarned by heaven. There, beneath a kadamba tree whose blossoms smelled of childhood promises, she gave birth to twin sons, Lava and Kusha, their eyes twin echoes of Rāma's own. They learned sloka before seed syllables, grew wild fleet, archery their lullaby, and absorbed from Valmiki the epic of their father even before knowing his name. The fourth, the wandering horse. Years later, Ayodhya prepared for a grand Ashvamedha, horse sacrifice affirming sovereignty. A white stallion, gold harnessed and bannered, was released to roam. Any who seized it challenged the emperor. Those who welcomed it accepted his suzerainty. At the stallion's flank marched Lakṣmaṇa, Sugriva, Hanuman, and an army that still whispered tales of Lanka. In the far forest clearing near Valmiki's ashram, Lava and Kusha saw the prodigious animal grazing lotus shrubs. Their youthful pride flared. Lava, should a monarch claim the world without earning it through contest? Kusha, let us tether the question. They captured the stallion and repelled the initial escort with arrowcraft so dazzling even Hanuman paused in admiration. Lakṣmaṇa sent word. Bharata himself advanced, then Shatrughna, but the boy's shafts sang geometry none could breach. Rāma confronts his own reflection. Alarmed, Rāma rode to the site, divine bow readied. As the twins prepared for what seemed their greatest trial, sage Valmiki materialized between the lines, palms raised. Valmiki, King, your valor confronts its mirror. These boys are seeds from the tree of your own heart. Gasps rippled. The twins looked upon Rāma, recognition, an unspoken chord, vibrated marrow. Sītā, summoned from the hermitage, arrived cloaked, eyes pools of both fear and serene certainty. The final oath. Mother Earth awaits. Courtiers, soldiers, and forest wildlife gathered in breathless rings. Rāma stepped forward, voice choking on tides of love and guilt. Rāma, if doubt still clings like burrs, let all realms witness a last test. Sītā, prove purity once more, and the kingdom shall silence its poisoned tongues forever. Sītā's lashes fluttered closed, a faint smile, equal parts sorrow and release, curved her lips. She raised arms to the heavens. Star, O Bhumi Mata, Mother Earth from whom I was born, if I have been faithful in thought, word, and deed, receive me back into your embrace. A thunder hush blanketed the field. Earth cracked in a perfect lotus pattern. From the fissure rose a resplendent throne borne by serpentine roots and jeweled vines. Earth goddess herself, veiled in green radiance, extended hands. Sītā stepped onto the throne. It descended slowly as petals closed overhead, sealing like healed skin. Only her fragrance lingered, mingling with petrichor of the disturbed soil. Rāma's cry curdled even stone hearts. Yet no archer's arrow can pierce the planet that mothers us. Bow slipping from fingers, he knelt, accepting verdict. The purest prove nothing. The world must instead cleanse its sight. Sixth, the long reign and the visitor beyond time. Grief became a private river beneath Rāma's golden rule. Lava and Kusha returned to Ayodhya, their father embracing them with ferocity that finally unknotted years of missed heartbeats. They sang Valmiki's epic at festivals. Populace wept to learn their king's hidden sorrow and Sūta's second exile. Rāma governed 11,000 years, an age historians later collapse into the idiom Rāma, shorthand for perfect justice. Yet even mythic spans end. One dawn a luminous ascetic visited the court, bearing no shadow. Ascetic: I am Kala. Time. The gods request a private audience. Lakṣmaṇa stood sentinel outside the chamber, instructed to ensure absolute solitude on pain of death. Inside, Kala revealed that Rāma's earthly mission was complete. He must return to his divine essence as Mahavishnu. As they spoke, unruly sage Durvasa arrived at the gate, demanding immediate darshan lest he curse the realm to ash. Torn between duty to safeguard Rāma's privacy and duty to avert cosmic wrath, Lakṣmaṇa opened the door. Rāma, learning this, embraced his brother, in apology, not anger. Lakṣmaṇa, understanding silent law, walked into the Sarayu river, body dissolving into light, Adishesa returning to cosmic coils. The palace dimmed perceptibly, as though one of its 4 load-bearing pillars had vanished. 7th, crossing the Sarayu. Rāma crowned Kusha king of Ayodhya and Lava governor of northern Kosala, then walked toward the Sarayu's shimmering ribbon. Citizens trailed him, crying, "Take us too!" At the riverbank he turned. Rāma, whoever has loved truth more than life itself may follow. The waters glowed turquoise as saints, commoners, even animals stepped beside him. Hand in hand they entered, ripples flaring into golden lotuses. When the last petals stilled, the crowd on the opposite bank saw only empty sky reflecting in calm water. Devas heralded his return, Vishnu reclaiming his Sudarshana halo, Lakṣmaṇa already coiled at his feet as Ananta, Bharata and Shatrughna emerging as lesser aspects of the divine energy. Ayodhya left in the guardianship of flesh and blood heirs. 8th Epilogue. Song that outlives wars. Years later, travelers resting in forest huts hear twins Lava and Kusha chant Ramakatha to Veena accompaniment, verses taught by Valmiki, honed by life. The epic spreads along caravan routes, across mountains and oceans, nesting in tongues from Bali to Boston, shaping morals, theatre, dance, and bedtime stories. The poem ends in heartbreak, yet hums with hope. That leadership can still bend to humility, that truth survives rumour by the quiet endurance of the wronged, that the bridge between mortal struggle and divine promise is not of stone alone, but of friendship, fidelity, and the readiness to release what one loves most. Listeners close their eyes and for a moment hear distant surf against floating stones, smell champaka blossoms in a night garden, feel the quiver of a bowstring drawn back by duty, and somewhere deeper still they glimpse a blue-skinned prince walking into silver water beneath a rosy dawn, an image neither centuries nor skeptic ink can erase. Thus ends Valmiki's Ramayana, 6 episodes of joy, fury, exile, return, and the long echo of dharma. Whoever reads or hears this tale with an open heart may find bridges where there once were oceans.